When it comes to being a millionaire, it's not about spending like you're rich, it's about saving like you're rich. In today's video, we're gonna be looking at 13 smart habits for millionaires. Now, of course, when it comes to millionaires, paying attention to the habits and behaviors that they possess is a good way to help you and ensure that you do reach that millionaire status. Starting with number one, self-made millionaire, start small. Now, this can be with investing. It is really a good way where if you're investing 2%, 3%, 5%, getting up to that 15% investment will over time make you a millionaire. And looking at even returns of a stock market, 8 to 10%, when you start small and when you start as a self-made millionaire, putting money into a 401k, putting money into an HSA, putting money into a brokerage account, starting small is a great starting point. But when you start accumulating and really compounding interest over a multitude of 10, 20, 30, 40 years, you will reach that millionaire status a lot easier with the money that you're putting in there. Now, number two, millionaires are not afraid to live a frugal life. Now, this, of course, is something that I stress on this channel. We talk about frugal. Frugal is not cheap. That is not the way to see it. A lot of people kind of get those confused. Frugal means knowing what your money and knowing what you're getting and making sure the value is there. That's what I really think when I think about frugal living, is buying things more of value, even if they have a larger price tag, that is going to last you and are going to be able to carry you for much longer and much greater amount of time. When you look at buying things again that are kind of at a quality, when you look at even buying possibly more expensive clothes that are going to last you 3 to 5 years, or even just having the basics versus going in there and buying a bunch of things over and over and over is what we kind of see. Now, of course, making sure this rings true to a lot of different things like vehicles. You need a vehicle to take you to point A to point B that is reliable. That could be a new car where you're spending $30,000, and that is kind of the frugal idea, is you're looking for something that is of value. It's not the value to go $50,000, $70,000, $100,000 on a car. That is going to be and do the exact same thing. Now, do millionaires kind of spend money? Sometimes luxury-wise, millionaires, billionaires, yachts, Bentleys, but you have to hit that millionaire status first before you can actually see the compounding interest and be able to afford those. Number three, we look at saving aggressively. Now, on this channel, that is what we do. Between my 401k, my HSA, and my brokerage account, we save an incredible amount of money every single month. Now, this, of course, every dollar that you save, and the way to think about it is every dollar that you save is a dollar you don't have to work for future you. So what do you want to get to? And when you start building up this nest egg, is you want to get it to such a size that you don't have to touch the balance. Now, for a majority of people, that is going to be the millionaire status. That is going to be that 7 figures, because if you have that 7 figures, if you have that $1 million nest egg, even if you're earning just 5%, you can take $50,000 a year. That is right. It is a pretty big number for a majority of us, considering that is about the average salary that we see in America. But you can take $50,000 out of that account with a 5% return and never touch the $1 million that is in there. Now, if you start kind of extrapolating that, if you get to the 8%, 10%, 12% return, not only can you take that $50,000 out of that savings account or that investment account that you have, but it will still continue to grow over that $1 million status with just the compounding interest that you have in there. The more that you can save, and of course, tax advantage accounts are good, but overall, when it comes to tax advantage accounts, I would really choose a Roth over a traditional when you're looking at IRAs, when you're looking at 401ks, because your money is growing tax-free in a Roth versus being taxed at a later date. So essentially, even if you have $1 million, when you get to that retirement status, there's going to be a big chunk of that 50K that you're taking out of there that is going to be paid in taxes, which means you're not getting that 50K because, again, you have to pay those taxes. Now, switch it on the other side. If that's in a Roth 401k, if that is in a Roth IRA, taking out your 50K is just going to be that. You take out 50K, you get 50K. Now, of course, I know you don't get the tax benefit when you put it in, but overall, when you get to a higher compounding number, the Roth is going to yield a lot more of a return. Number four, keep learning, keep improving yourself. That is really one of the big things when you look at changing your habits. Really changing your habits and the things you do on a regular basis are going to change your life. If you start by investing, let's say $5, $10 a week, then you kind of step it up to $20, $25 a week. the habits that you're putting out and the habits that you're doing are going to make a huge difference. It says 9 out of 10 millionaires read almost every day. They increase their knowledge base. They continue within their job, within their industry, even things that they find interesting, to continue ever learning and always getting knowledge. Now, of course, one of the big proponents, or one of the biggest people that I know that does this, is Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett spends an incredible amount of time reading, getting a lot of knowledge, which again can really prove being a billionaire at this point. It's kind of crazy to think exactly where he came from to where he is now. Number 5, knowing that building wealth takes time. That is right, guys. Short of hitting the lotto or something of that nature, building wealth takes time. It is about the contributions you're doing on a paycheck basis, on a weekly basis, monthly basis. That is going to build this $1 million nest egg that you're going to be sitting on for future you. For a majority of people and majority of millionaires that get a millionaire status by investing, it roughly takes 30 to 40 years to get to that, because again, you're at the point where you're starting to get a lot of compounding interest, and you really see the first step of this when you hit that first $100,000. That is kind of the pivotal mark where you go from having, the 99,000 up to that $100,000 mark. That is where you can really start feeling the compounding interest, which again, if you're continuing to make those contributions, it's only going to compound and grow faster based on what you already have in there, because now you're starting to see returns. It's very interesting when you get on the other side of the fence. And what I mean by this is there's a point where you have a mortgage, you have student loan debt, you have credit card debt, you have cars, you have unsecured debt, you have a ton of debt. All of your money is going to pay interest on the debt that you have already accumulated. The other side of the fence is eliminating that debt, having the money to invest, and them giving you dividends, you're earning interest. The financial institutions will actually pay you to borrow your money versus the other side where you're actually paying to borrow money, which again is a game changer when you think fundamentally, because now all the money that they're paying you is time that you're getting back, is time that you don't have to work, which of course we know wealth is great, money is great, but time is something that you have a limited amount of. So if you don't have to work as long and have more income, makes a really big difference. Number 6, networking smartly. That is right. When you look at successful people, they fill their lives with other successful people. They fill themselves with like-minded people. If there's something you're passionate about, if there's something that you love, even looking at your industry, regardless of what you do, you have to find people that have common interests to you, and that will ultimately lead to happiness. They have a lot of people that can help them along the way. You can bounce ideas off of a lot of people, having lunch, making sure, and also have somebody who holds you accountable. This again is something that I learned several years ago. Having someone where if you're setting goals, whether it be financial, personally, professionally, you have somebody in your corner and you have somebody who is going to hold you accountable to the goals that you're setting, making them achievable. Number 7, practice goal setting, dream setting, whatever you want to call it. When it comes to your life and when it comes to self-improvement, it makes it a lot easier if you're shooting for a goal. Me personally, I'm looking to save that $100,000 mark. Once we get there, we'll reevaluate exactly what we're going to go ahead and set it. But make sure when you're looking at a goal, whether it be financial or whether it be personal, that you're writing it down. Now, there has been a ton of studies. It has been proven if you write something down, the chances of it becoming an actual reality just really, it increases the probability of it happening a ton. I use little sticky notes on my computer for the days we want to retire, for the amounts that we want to save. Also goals that we have on YouTube with one daily video upload every single day. And if you like the content, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, because we also want to get 10,000 subscribers by the end of this year, which we're growing pretty well towards that already. Now, looking at number 8, we get into getting up early. Now, I know a lot of people do say, I'm not a morning person. That is a habit. If you've really coined that phrase that you're not a morning person, it's time to change that habit. It's time to flip that. When you get up and you can get things done, it really compounding effect, similar to what we see with investing. Once you finish one thing, you can finish another thing. You can finish another thing. I know another terminology that I've heard is eat the frog. If you get up in the morning and you do the most difficult thing that you're going to do during your entire day, might be making a call, might be exercising in the morning. it sets up the rest of the day to be easier than the thing you already did. Once you kind of get over the first stumbling block, it works incredibly well. Number 9, we look at prioritizing their health. That is right. We only have one body, unfortunately, but exercising at least 30 minutes a day is an absolute priority. Looking at 3 to 4 days a week to keep not only your mind, but your body kind of in tune and on a healthy kind of front. Also, sleeping. Sleeping is another one that you have to get at least 7 hours of sleep a night. That is what 93% of doctors say you should get as a very bare minimum just to refresh and recharge your body, because you'll find that things are incredibly difficult if you're not having enough sleep and if you don't have those sleep habits. And also, when you're exercising, you'll tire your body out. You will notice that when you go to sleep, you sleep a lot better because your body has exercised and you've burned off some of the calories, but also kind of worn your body out as well, making it very, very different. Number 10, happy millionaires give generously. Now this, I go right back to Dave Ramsey with the baby steps. When you finally get to that last 7 steps, investing and giving generously, I absolutely love it. When you have the ability to help other people, you will find that happiness comes from that. When again, you have the time or you have the money that you can give it and you really don't have an impact on your life because you can go ahead and be generous. It is a game changer. It is really a life changer when you start giving out money that you have, because again, you're a millionaire, you have it in excess. Even giving time, if you don't have the money, makes a big difference. It really is a society and a world where it is people helping people. And it makes a big difference when you do feel and genuinely appreciate helping other individuals. The number 11, millionaires see opportunities in everything they do. This comes from problem solving. This comes from potential money-making ideas, side hustles. A lot of millionaires will put a lot more input and a lot more output into everything they do. Where you might go to a job, you work your normal 9 to 5, you're putting in your 8 hours, you're giving it 70%. Most millionaires, especially looking at opportunities, it's how many times you go at bat. With the old baseball analogy, every time you're at bat, you could hit a home run. The more times that you can get at bat, the more opportunities that you can have, the more chances you have to grow and develop as an individual, but you also have the ability to impact other people as well as yourself. Even if you're getting up there, looking at number 12, multiple income streams. This, of course, YouTube is where we're generating some additional income. So we have our regular job, we have our YouTube, we have dividends that are coming from our portfolio, we have interest that is coming from savings accounts and CDs. There is a multitude of income streams, because essentially what happens is if something happens to one income stream, you want to make sure you have other ways that you can kind of move some levers around. Maybe even in my case, make more and create more content on YouTube to really move and make up some of the revenue that might be lost from another revenue stream. Now, looking at millionaires, 75% said they have at least 3 streams of income. That is right. To make their first $1 million, they were running 3 streams of income. Again, that can be a multitude of things depending on your really field of study, what you do and how you do it, what you love to do, what you're passionate about, and also building up the emergency fund. This is the one that I cannot stress enough, because if you have the emergency fund, it keeps you from falling back and going right back into debt, which of course is essentially paying interest on things that your previous self did have. And the final one I leave you with, they don't give up. That is right. When you're going through life, you're going to have a lot of successes. You're going to have a lot of failures. Learning to deal with the failures is going to be, again, another game changer. They can shrug it off. You can get back on your feet. Analyzing the failures, seeing exactly how you can kind of change it, which is funny because the old saying, sometimes I win, sometimes I learn. That is right. It is really about that mindset of a winner, meaning that you're going to learn. And if you approach it time and time and time again, there's going to be a point where it is going to be a win, and that is going to be a success. Even though a lot of people do fail, you can keep going. That is going to do it for our 13 smart habits for millionaires, and I'll catch you in the next video.